Good afternoon, everybody. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Today, we are going to look at how to make more money. Now, that's pretty vague, I know, and we're going to be looking at something called the 67, I believe it is, Lominger competencies. Now, you might not know what this is. I will explain what it is, but it is so valuable, especially as you move into 2018 with any New Year's resolutions. This is a good video to watch, and I'll share with you my self-assessment at the end. And again, that's going to make sense. But before we do, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications. We're doing lots of giveaways into the new year, more than I've ever done before. Can't wait for it, but you need to have notifications turned on, please. Make sure you comment on today's video with what you think, any kind of self-assessments for yourself. Again, that's going to make sense later. And of course, hit that thumbs up button if you like this sort of stuff. But let's get into it. And let me explain, first of all, what the hell we're talking about today. So I'm going to share my screen, first of all. And by the way, guys, I'm wearing a coat because I'm cold. And it's New Year's Eve as well. Pretty cool. I'm recording this the day before because I'm going to get really drunk. But hey, you just have to put up with that. So, Lominger competencies. What the hell is this? Now, when I worked at Apple, they based their service around these 67 competencies. So they're kind of traits that people will have. And they're things you can be underskilled, skilled, or overskilled at. And for example, the first one is, number one. And just to let you know, I think the people that came up with this they might be called Lominger, I don't really know. They looked at, I think, the Fortune 500 companies. They looked at all the things that made great employees and what made bad employees, and they put them into these 67 different categories. And the idea is that if you want to make more money, you want to work on your strengths and you want to maybe bring up the ones that you're a little bit underskilled at. My big thing, and I'm going to show you later, is what competencies I believe you need to focus on and put the majority of your effort on if you want to make more money or even any money, right? So I'm going to explain to you what those are, but let me explain first of all what the hell this is. So here are the 67 competencies and the relating descriptions. So the first one, to give you an idea, is action-orientated. So the description is, enjoys working hard, is action-orientated and full of energy for the things he or she sees as challenging, not fearful or acting with a minimum of planning, seizes more opportunities than others, okay? So that is someone that is action-orientated, someone that can deal with ambiguity, can effectively cope with change, can shift gears comfortably, can decide and act without having a total picture, and isn't upset when things are up in the air, doesn't have to finish things before moving on, can comfortably handle the risk and uncertainty. So uncertainty. So what you want to do is you want to go through these 67 and you want to pick out kind of 9 or 12 competencies that you're skilled at, you're underskilled, and you're overskilled at. And the reason being is this is about self-awareness and understanding what you're good at, what you do too much, and what you're not quite so good at. And some of them won't, boss relations, for example, that doesn't apply to me, so that's not one I need to put in there. But pick out some that you think are good, and you want to put them into 3 different piles, okay? And I'm going to show you my piles. I'm going to show you my competencies, my piles of competencies, in a second, and explain to you why it's so important. I really believe you should do this. I'm going to put this link down below. This isn't actually their link. The Lominger competencies are normally cards and a book that you buy. I'm not buying it, but you can go to this page here, and I'll link that below if you want to have a look at this. But this is a really great self-development tool. I've used this for years, and it's really helped me identify areas where I need to double down on my strengths and things that I need to maybe pull back on a little bit because I'm overusing them. I used to use humor quite a lot, and that was actually a deterrent that meant that people didn't kind of see me as a person of authority, if that makes sense. So that kind of, they work together, some of these competencies. So I think it's a massive development tool that I think you really should look at in a little bit more detail. So let's go ahead and look at my competencies. So here we go. Hopefully you can see this, and I will scroll down. Let me do this bit here. So Lominger competency, self-assessment. So I've taken some of these here and I've looked at, hey, what am I skilled at? What do I overuse? And what is underused? The idea is that the ones you're skilled at, just carry on doing what you're doing. The overused ones, just be more aware of that you overuse them, and the underskilled ones is what can you do to make them skilled, okay? They're ones that you find important, but you want to be able to become better at them. So the first one, and this is really how you make more money, okay? And it's the competency, it's number 15, and it's called customer focus. And let me read this out. Is dedicated to meeting the expectations and requirements of internal and external customers. I'll explain that. gets first-hand customer information and uses it for improvements in products and services, acts with customer in mind, establishes and maintains effective relationships with customers and gains their trust and respect. Okay, so what does this actually mean? This is important, this one, guys. This is where your money is going to be made. So it's dedicated to meeting the expectations of internal and external customers. Now, an internal customer is going to be someone like people that you work with, or people your direct report. So if you work and you're a boss, then your internal customer is going to be your staff. My internal customers might be the people that work with me. So yesterday you would have seen an interview and kind of tutorial with Dan. Now, Dan kind of, I guess he works for me. I kind of on a commission type basis, I guess. Now I've got to make sure that I'm dedicated to him as a customer of me, okay? Not just as much as my external customers, so the people that buy kind of coaching and courses and stuff like that. You get first-hand customer information, so that's called feedback. So when you get feedback on your service, you need to actually take action and improve your service. So that if, for example, that's your Amazon product and you keep getting feedback about something that's wrong with your product, you need to fix that issue. If you get feedback that you're emailing too much with your email follow-up sequence, you need to fix it and not just ignore the customer, because there's a reason that someone's taken time out their day to give you feedback. So even if you don't agree with it, you need to take it on board and be objective about it. But it's always having customer focus in mind. If you focus on the customer, you will make more money, right? If you look at Amazon, if you look at Apple, two of the biggest companies in the world, one of their biggest things is customer focus. That's what they want. They want to provide the most excellent customer service ever. In terms of retailers, that's what they want to do. Now, look at Amazon's return policy, for example. It's super, super lenient because they have the customer focus in mind. They want to make customers happy, so they come back again and again and again. Same with Apple. They want to provide a very, very high level of customer service so that customers come back, they tell their friends, they tell their family, they go on Facebook and they write about how good the customer service was at Apple, how good the delivery service was and the returns policy is at Amazon. They want people to promote that. So if you are a business owner, if you start a personal brand, if you have anything to do where you're selling something and you're having customers, you need to make sure that you're giving the best service, because that's what's going to bring people in the door. That's what's going to make people spend more. That's what's going to make them tell their friends and their family and be a promoter of your business. Okay, so that is by the most important thing I think you should be skilled at is customer focus. Okay. And for me, that's a lot around making sure I give a lot of value out before that person becomes a customer, during and after. For me, it's all about value and support. So I have a lot of value in place. I have a lot of support networks in place so that my customers, and I'm sorry for calling you guys customers, but that's technically what you are, clients, customers. I want to make sure that at all stages in your customer journey, that you are supported, you feel valued, and that you want to go out and be positive about your experience. If there's anyone that has a negative experience, I want to know why they're having a negative experience, and I want to make sure that that issue never, ever happens again. Because if it happens once, it could be a mistake. If it happens twice, it's not a mistake, it's your own fault. It's something you actually did to prevent that to not prevent that from happening. So customer focus is massive. If you want to make more money, customer focus. The other ones I've put in here, I'm going to kind of glide over these ones a bit. Approachability, compassion, and peer relationships. So these are the things I believe I'm skilled at, and you'll notice all of these are people focused. Like I want to focus on people because that's kind of how I've always been. Compassion. I actually have empathy for people in their circumstances, and I believe that's something I'm skilled at. And these kind of compassion and customer focus, they really work together, because if you can have compassion, you can put yourselves in the shoes of your customer, then you'll be able to much better service them as a customer of yours. So I think those two go together really well. And of course, for approachability, I always want to be approached. And I explain to people that I want to have people speak to me, and I want to be warm, and I want to be gracious and pleasant and stuff like that, and always be polite. So that's something I believe that I am skilled at. And then peer relationships, I can quite comfortably walk into a room and find common ground with people, because I've done that for so many years in a retail setting, and teaching other people how to do it as well, like teaching other people how to build a rapport and gain trust from people. And that really helps with sales and negotiation, is that peer relationship. So those are the things I've skilled at. And so if my big advice to you guys is, if you are wanting to sell something, you need to work on this competency right here, customer focus. Now you can go and search into Google, Lomia competency, customer focus, underused, and it will give you the definition of what underused customer focus is, overused, and skilled. So you want to make sure you're in the skilled category. Okay, and overused would be like bending over backwards for every single customer, or bending over backwards for some customers and neglecting others. Okay, that would be like an overused competency. So if we go down to the overused ones, so again, this is a self-assessment. You can assess me, guys, if you want to, but I would really recommend you go onto the website and you do a self-assessment and you let me know in the comments what you're skilled, what you're underskilled, and what you're overskilled at. Now, this might take some time to do, but I really think it's a good, basically a good thing to do for your own development. So overused, and you've got to be really harsh with yourself as well. You're going to want to put everything in skilled. You can't do that. You pick the ones that are in your niche, that ones are important for you, and force yourself to put them into different categories. There might only be a tiny difference between skilled and overused, but be objective about it. So overused, composure. I actually overuse composure, and I'm told this quite a lot, that sometimes I don't show frustration, I don't show anger, or any sort of kind of crazy emotions. And that's just that's part of me. I know that's how I am. I guess I'm built. I'm very composed, and under pressure I am composed, and that sometimes looks like you don't care. If there's something really important happening, or whatever it may be, it comes off as you don't care, or you're not interested. So I know that I overuse composure because I can handle stress really, really well. Like I can handle frustration very, very well. I just kind of like wipe it off and go, no, it's not, it doesn't matter. That's too much. So I need to basically not be so composed. That's a hard thing to do. Trying not to. These are really hard to not overuse. Self-development. So yeah, I do a lot of self-development, but that's at the detriment to other things that I'm doing, because I spend a lot of time doing self-development and try to improve all the time, but sometimes don't work on the things that are my underused skills. So I work on finding new skills, but don't work on the ones I've got. So, and that kind of goes into action orientated. I enjoy working hard, but sometimes I will find something new and I'll be captivated by it because it's new and I want to learn it, and I'll forget other things and I won't do other things. And that can be quite scattery sometimes. So these two kind of go together and they kind of work together because I'm action orientated. I want to do things fast, and I want to, I see things as a challenge and as a learning opportunity. I want to learn them very, very quickly, but it's at the detriment to other things. You can only spin so many plates before one starts falling down. So I know that these are overused skills of mine, and I need to kind of work on them and be more laser focused on, a smaller set of things rather than trying to take on new things all the time. Underused. So these are all very, very, very similar. Underused skills, organizing. Let's put that to an S because that is not how we spell that. Organizing, priority setting, and time management. These are all about the same thing. I am very, very bad at organizing my time, at priority setting, and just arranging things efficiently, and using my time basically to the best of its ability. These are things I know I'm not very good at, and I'm quite scattery with this. I'm too action orientated. When I need something, when something needs to be done, I'll just go and do it rather than plan when it needs to be done. Is it more important or less important than something else? For example, priority setting. So I act with urgency on quite a lot of things I do. For example, YouTube videos, or on Instagram or whatever it may be. I act with urgency rather than planning in advance. And making sure my time is used more efficiently. Now, these are things that I'm working on. I'm really, really trying to work on these, but they're very hard things for me to work on because I've always not been very good at them. I've always been, again, way too action orientated and learning on the fly and that sort of stuff. So being self-aware is super important. Gary Vee talks about this. Loads of kind of entrepreneurs talking about this. Being self-aware is super important. Understand what you're good at. Understand what you're actually not too good at, but what you overuse. It's not saying I'm too good at these. I'm just saying I overuse them, and it's a detriment to other competencies. And these are the things that I underuse that I know that I need to get better at, okay? So I tried to get 3 in each one. I put 4 in the skilled one. So if I was to take one of these away, I'd probably take away peer relationships or compassion, one of the two. So if you had to put 3 in each pile, well, that's what I want you to do in this video, guys. And this is a great time coming into 2018 tonight. So Happy New Year's for anyone watching this, obviously on Monday, from the 1st onwards. But I think this is a really good task that you can just do by yourself. Do it over the next kind of half an hour or so. Spend some time, go through this website, and just pick out. There's 67, so pick out 9 competencies that 3 you're skilled at, 3 you overuse, and 3 are underskilled, and just start to work on them over the new year. Know what you're good at, know what you're not so good at, and know what you do too much. Personally, if you want to be making money, I think that needs to be in your skilled pile, as in that needs to be one of the ones you pick. Even if it's in underskilled, put it in there because you want to make it a skilled priority. And this is what you do. All you do is every 2 or 3 months, so you don't have to do this often. Let's say every 3 months, you go back to these. So save this file, go back to it in 3 months and reorganize it. So you'll find that maybe time management might go from underused to skilled, or it might even go to overused, but you want to move them around and just see what you can do with it. And that's self-development. That's how we self-develop, because we have to be self-aware. So I'll come back to this in a few months and I'll think, okay, so how's my priority setting? Have I increased? What goals have I set to get better at priority setting? Set SMART goals. And that's the only way you're going to do it. So for example, my New Year's resolutions, I let's call them that, but they're just self-development kind of tools, if that makes sense. So I'm going to look at how can I better organize, how can I better priority set, and how can I manage my time better? How can I not use composure? How can I not let self-development and my action-orientatedness affect my other business kind of customer focus? So that's how we're going to do it. If you have any questions about this, all you have to do is reach out to me in the comments or send me an email. If you don't feel comfortable sharing this on YouTube, which I understand, then just send me an email. I'm happy to talk through this in terms of self-development strategy for you. But what I want you to do is do some of the legwork first. I want you to go onto this website. I want you to pick out 9 competencies. I want you to put them in 3 different piles: skilled, overused, and underskilled, and be very, very critical with yourself. If you're getting 6 of them in the skilled pile, you need to move some of them around, okay? You need to be very, very critical, and there might be only tiny differences, but identify where those differences are, and honestly, it's going to really, really help you. This may seem like quite a boring video, but this has helped me over the past kind of 6 or 7 years completely change my persona. Maybe not my persona, but the way that I come across to people. And some people might call that kind of like charisma, and it's completely changed it because I worked on different competencies, and they weren't always like this. I had different competencies that I was leveraging too much or not enough, and I've worked on them over the space of years to get to the point where I am now, where I am a very good salesperson, very good at approaching people, all that sort of stuff. So hopefully you will do that, guys. Don't kind of be put off by this. I honestly, I really recommend it. I've done this with many, many, many people over the past few years, and you just don't know how much it can help. If you are into any sort of self-development or self-awareness, you will know exactly what I'm talking about and why this is important. All the links for this, well, there's only one link, is going to be down below. I want you to leave in the comments just the titles will do, like dealing with ambiguity or approachability, boss relations, and just put them into 3 different topics. If you need any help, any support, you can obviously reach out to me, but this is going to be a great little tool for your own self-development through 2018. But guys, if you get any questions, you know where I am. Of course, make sure you subscribe. I'll be doing the giveaway results tomorrow. I know everyone will probably be really hungover, and hey, do you know what? That's fine. So when you're in bed and you're thinking, do you know what? My day is really bad. I feel ill. I'm not having a good time, I need some fast food. Just pick up your phone, go onto YouTube, make sure you watch that video. I'll upload it a little bit earlier than normal. Watch that video and see if you've won any cool stuff. I have got, as well, a little kind of sneaky extra as well, but you're going to have to wait till the video to be able to see that. Guys, I've hoped you enjoyed today's video. I will see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.